Boys, there's a lot of fighters who are kind of stagnant right now in their UFC career. They might be on a losing streak. They might be, far away from a title shot. They might be stuck in a position. And because of that, today we're going to go through every single division, pick one key fighter to either move down in weight or go up in weight. Now, when it comes to flyweight and heavyweight, they don't really have much choice. The flyweights have to go up and the heavyweights have to go down. And yeah, for the most part, I think this is going to be a good career choice for, I would say, 90% of these guys. I've only picked one fighter for each division, so I'm not going to have multiple fighters here, only one. If you guys want me to do another one of these where I pick different fighters, let me know in the comments below. Let's start off with the flyweight division. Now, there's a lot of guys in the flyweight division, but one guy in particular, in my opinion, is just way too big for this flyweight division. Pretty sure this boy's missed weight quite a few times already. Let's move him up to bantamweight. We already know that if you're in a lower weight class, typically when you go up in weight, you do better because mainly the bigger guys are just not as skilled as the lower weight classes. But in this instance, I don't know how true that's going to be. The guy I'm picking right now, ranked number 9th in that flyweight division. I had some very big goals for this guy. I thought this guy was going to be the next thing. He has been very inactive. Last time he fought was this year, July 27th. He lost this fight. Previous to that, September 9th, 2023. After that, December 17th, 2022. After that, December 4th, 2021. So very, very inactive, especially for this flyweight division. And we're picking the boy Manel Kape. I think Manel Kape would do really good in that bantamweight division. Let's quickly run through the top 15 and see how I think he would place in the top 15. Number 15 right now is Montel Jackson. I think Manel Kape gets it done. Dominic Cruz, I have no idea why that guy's even in the top 15 anymore or even in the rankings. I think he beats Dominic Cruz. Jonathan Martinez, it could be a very hard fight for Manel Kape, especially if he's not checking those low kicks. Kyler Phillips, Mario Batista, Jose Aldo, all pretty difficult fights for Manel Kape. Rob Font, I think Manel Kape could actually finish someone like a Rob Font. Song, very hard matchup. Marlon Vera, I think he beats Vera. Henry Cejudo, I honestly think he beats Henry Cejudo as well. Davison Figueiredo, that would be a super fun matchup. I don't know, I think Figueiredo would probably get that one. I think Corey might just squeeze by. Peter Yan, Umar Nurmagomedov, Merab, and then Sean O'Malley. It's all very difficult fights for him, but to be honest, I think all those fights are way better than any of the fights that he would have at flyweight. Not just stylistically wise, but just as fans, I think it'd be way more fun to see him in bantamweight than in flyweight. Plus, who knows, maybe he looks a whole lot better in this bantamweight division. Let's move up into that bantamweight division. Someone that I think should move up in weight, that's going to be the boy Corey Sandhagen. Corey Sandhagen, yes, he is still one of the best bantamweight fighters in this division. But after his loss to Umar Nurmagomedov, I don't know if he ever gets close to a championship belt. Mainly because it's just horrible stylistic matchups for him. He's currently ranked number 4. Above him, Peter Yan. Peter Yan already beat him. Umar already beat him. Merab, I think Merab beats him as well. Champion Sean O'Malley, I think Sean O'Malley knocks him out. Going down the list, even a Davison Figueiredo, I think is a hard matchup for Corey Sandhagen. Henry Cejudo, I think he gets it done over Henry. Corey Sandhagen versus Marlon Vera, I think Corey gets it done over them. But I want to see this go into the featherweight division. And in my thinking, Corey Sandhagen is just a better all-around fighter than someone like a Yair Rodriguez, who used to be an interim belt holder, fought for the belt already. Let's go into the top 5 and see how well someone like a Corey Sandhagen does. Number 5, Arnold Allen versus Corey Sandhagen. That would be that's like a 50-50 type of matchup in my opinion, depending on how well Corey looks at featherweight. Yair Rodriguez, I think Corey Sandhagen uses his wrestling, his striking. I think he'd overall just beat someone like a Yair. Brian Ortega, I think he beats him on the feet. Max Holloway, okay, that's where it gets a little bit hard because then you have Max Holloway, Alexander Volkanovski, and Ilya Taporia. 3 back-to-back just murderers on the top 3. So to be honest, I don't know if he gets close to that belt, but I think he would have a whole lot more success in featherweight than what he would do in bantamweight, depending on how well he does transition into featherweight. Let's go into the featherweight division though now. I have 2 guys, one guy that I want to move up to lightweight and one guy I want to move down to bantamweight. Let's go to the guy I want to move down first. That's going to be number 13th ranked, Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell, a crazy powerhouse of a wrestler, stacked up against, the top 5. I think he could do really good. Davison Figueiredo, he might be able to get it done over someone like a Davidson, a Corey Sandhagen. I don't know, again, a very 50-50. Peter Yan, I could see Bryce Mitchell beating Peter Yan based off his takedowns alone. Again, it depends how he looks down in this bantamweight division. But right away, throw him in there with someone like a Cheeto. I think, I think Bryce Mitchell beats Cheeto. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, we all have to worry about that chin, but that's him getting knocked out by a full blast overhand right Josh Emmett. Yes, Cheeto has power, but unless he's throwing everything into a shot, he's not going to knock out someone like a Bryce Mitchell like that. So yeah, to be honest, I think Bryce Mitchell does really good in the bantamweight division. Let's go into who I want to move up to lightweight. This guy has already teased it before. He's pretty big for this featherweight division. Plus, I think he might be able to do really well in lightweight. That's going to be Brian Ortega. Top 10 in lightweight, we have Fiziev. I think he could get it done over Fiziev. Max Holloway. That's not happening. Matus Gamrot. I could see it happening. I'm not too sure though. But Benil Dariush, I think he gets it done over Michael Chandler. I think he gets it done over Michael Chandler. Dan Hooker. New mythical tatted up Dan Hooker is kind of like a mythical fighter, so I'm not too sure yet. Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje. I think he could submit both of them. Charles Oliveira, I would love to see that matchup. That's like a dream matchup. Then we have Arman and Islam. Honestly, I think he stacks up really well in this lightweight division. And to be honest, I would love to see him move up to lightweight, face someone like a Charles Oliveira. That would be honestly one of my dream matchups. But let's keep moving down to that lightweight division. The guy that I said would be my dream matchup ain't gonna be staying at lightweight. He's gonna move up to middleweight. I think he would do stupidly well at middleweight. I'm not gonna lie. The only problem is he gonna be big enough? Yes, he cuts a stupid amount of weight. He used to be all the way in featherweight, so I don't know how well it's gonna transition into a welterweight frame. I don't know how big he is gonna be compared to these other guys. Him versus a Colby Covington. That would be a good matchup, just to gauge how well Charles Oliveira looks at welterweight. Plus, in my opinion, Colby's a little bit washed right now. He's 1 to 2 fights away from retiring. And yeah, if Charles truly wanted to go up in weight, test to see how he'd look, I think Colby Covington would be a great first matchup for him. Someone he doesn't really have to fear on the feet. On the feet, he's 10 times better. Ground game is where he'd have a little bit of issues, but again, I think he's better on the ground than a Colby Covington. Pure wrestling, yeah, I'll give that to Colby Covington, but off his back, throwing up submissions, I think that's it's not like a free win, but it's closest to a free win as you can get. Let's move down to that welterweight division. Right now, ranked number 14th. Let's check how he's been doing. I remember he hasn't been doing that great as of recently. He's coming off in his last 3 fights. He's only won 1 of them, and that's against RDA. Decently big for this division too. I think he could fit into a middleweight frame really, really well too. Plus, again, I think he just matches up really nice with a lot of the top 15. I'm talking about Vicente Luque. But I'm not gonna lie, Vicente Luque kind of like a double-edged sword, because I don't know how well he looks, to be honest. Like, ever since he had that huge medical issue, where honestly it seemed like he was never gonna fight again, hasn't looked quite the same. So I don't know if it's a good idea bringing him up in weight to fight bigger guys. Maybe him having that extra weight will be a benefit for him. I don't know. I think he just fits in very well in this top 15. Like, you're telling me you wouldn't pick Vicente Luque to beat someone like a Marvin Vettori, Roman Dolidze, Jack Hermanson, those type of people? I think Vicente Luque beats all 3 of those. Marvin Vettori being his hardest fight, but I think he beats those guys. And if he does move up in middleweight, all those guys I just listed are higher in the top 15 in middleweight than he is currently in the welterweight division, because he's ranked 14. He's so close to being out of the top 15. Let's keep moving on. This is a sleeper pick. I'm not gonna lie. We got 3 more weight classes to go to. All of them are bangers. Don't get me wrong. All of these, if they happen, new mythical fighter, trust. But first off, middleweight division, right now, ranked number 9. This boy hasn't seen much success in a hot minute. I think he's on a 2-fight losing streak. Previous to that, he was in his last 5 fights, that guy only won 1. So he's 1-4 in his last 5. Again, he hasn't been looking that great. His last win was against a very old Luke Rockhold. We're talking about Paulo Costa. He's already fought the top of the middleweight division. Like I said, typically when you go up in weight, you have a whole lot more success because that lower weight class skill just translates so much better. So moving up to light heavyweight, I think he does really well. Paulo Costa, you're telling me right now, if you want to get a free win for Paulo Costa, you don't move him up to light heavyweight and you make him fight Anthony Smith. That sounds like a free win to me. After that, yes, there's some hard matchups for Paulo Costa, but I think he could get it done over a lot of these guys. There's a chance we see Paulo Costa and like flatline knocked out, but at the end of the day, him versus Anthony Smith, easy win. Bump him up, make him fight someone like let's look at the top 10 right now, maybe a Ratchik as a hard matchup for him, but if he gets it done, he's in the top 5, one fight away from a title shot. I think that's what you do if you're Paulo Costa. You move up to light heavyweight. Let's go to someone who I think should move down from light heavyweight to middleweight. He's teased this before. I don't know if he's fully going with this right now. We're talking about the number 1 ranked Yuri Prochazka. You're telling me Yuri Prochazka versus the top, let's go with the top 10 in middleweight. Roman Dolidze. You're telling me Yuri Prochazka doesn't do nasty things to Roman Dolidze? You're telling me Yuri doesn't do nasty things to Paulo Costa, to Brendan Allen, to Jared Cannonier? You're telling me for all 5 rounds, Yuri Prochazka doesn't batter Marvin Vettori? Caio Borralho, tough matchup, but a fun matchup. And Maivov, fun matchup. Yuri Prochazka versus Robert Whittaker, stupidly fun matchup. A dream matchup, Yuri Prochazka versus Israel Adesanya. I think if I'm Yuri Prochazka, I'm heavily debating moving down to middleweight. I think he'll have more success here. I think he'll have a better chance of becoming or even fighting for a belt here. It's going to be so hard to sell a trilogy of Prochazka versus Pereira after Pereira has knocked out Prochazka twice. So yeah, if I'm Prochazka, I'm moving my ass down because he's not like a huge light heavyweight. I don't think he cuts that much weight. So if he really dials in, gets a nutritionist, I'm sure he can make that middleweight limit. Let's go down to that heavyweight division. Obviously, they can only move down to light heavyweight, and I'm going to throw a huge curveball right now. This guy, is he still in the top 10? No, top 12 now. He's ranked number 12. If I'm this guy, I'm hiring a nutritionist. I am doing everything in my power to stop buying Taco Bell. I'm doing everything in my power to cut down to 205. I'm having a complete body transition. That's going to be the boy Tai Tuivasa. You're telling me if this boy doesn't dial in, get into some good shape, cut down to 205, he wouldn't be a menace to the top 15? We saw what Alex Pereira did. Yes, granted, Alex Pereira and Tai Tuivasa, 2 completely different guys. Both of them very heavy-handed, and it seems like light heavyweight's a little bit retarded and likes to go power for power. So you're telling me the power of Tai Tuivasa versus someone like a Carlos Ulberg, Johnny Walker, Khalil Roundtree, if they go power for power, you're telling me Tai Tuivasa doesn't get a knockout spree to get him a shot at the title? Again, this boy needs to dial in. I don't know if it's even physically possible for him to make 205, but him buying all these Taco Bells before him going into the Apex to fight isn't helping. If this boy cuts to 205, best believe we'll see a mythical fighter being born right there. I'm on the UFC website right now. I'm trying to see, does it say how much he weighs in typically at? I don't think it does. 265 pounds. Fuck me, he's a big guy. Okay, so he's gonna have to cut down a good chunk of that. If I'm Tuivasa, I'm cutting down to 220, and then during like fight week, you're cutting down the rest of that 15 pounds. Hopefully you can make that. But yeah, a big guy like that, it honestly shouldn't be that hard for him. Plus he's 31 years old. I don't think there's much success left for him at heavyweight. He has to move down. I don't think that's just ever gonna happen, but I don't know. You guys have to let me know in the comments below. Would you guys pick anyone else for these divisions? Tai Tuivasa, yes, it's a little bit of a reach, but damn, just imagine if this boy cut down and took this shit seriously. I think he'd be a menace at light heavyweight. But yeah, boys, we're on that goal to get to 1,000 subscribers, so if you have not yet, leave a like on this video and subscribe with those post notifications turned on so you never miss any of these rare videos. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end, and yeah, there's really not that much else left to say except for I will see you guys in my next video.